Hey, what's up, everyone? My name's Lionel. I'm your host for LT Productions, and you are watching I Watch You Watch. We are covering the Braxtons. This is season 2, episode 5. I do appreciate everyone for coming to my channel. Like this video. You can subscribe, and you can leave your comments below. Now let's get into this episode. Okay, so I know I'm not going to be before you long. It wasn't as explosive as last week's episode, but this is the fallout after the family dinner that went to hell. Of course, at this point we're at Tawanda's. Is this the bridal shower? Yeah, where everyone is dressed as Bridgerton. Of course, Trina was like, I didn't tell Tawanda about what's going on. She arrives. Of course, Tawanda is like, well, what's going on? But she don't press her. But Tawanda does say in her confessional, like, it looks like there's something going on with Trina. She had a word for it. However, she's just not going to speak on it. I guess some more lighter note or comedic note, if you want to call it that, for this moment. Tawanda finds out that Trina don't have on any panties. She ended up having to go to the bathroom. So she just went someplace and did what she did. Tawanda was with her and all that good stuff. And then she was asking some questions about the area. Is it lawned or what as far as down there? Thinking that if there was some tall grass, it can absorb some of that. So I was like, okay. A present Sean gave Tawanda, da-da-da-da-da. We're done with that. Trina and Tawanda, they go down to Miami. Tony's doing her Jazz in the Gardens concert. First, well, I don't know what was first. Anyways, Tawanda still doesn't feel like it's a makeup, but however, she's still going down there for missing her bridal shower. They go on a yacht. They talk for a little bit. Not much going on. Tawanda and Trina, they go to the concert, and Trina is also does a little tribute, and she sings with Tony. So I thought that was cool. There was a big debate on who has the best voice on social media. Of course, we heard a long time ago from Tony that Tamar is the best singer, but I think people count out Trina. Some people say, well, she shouldn't have went pop. I don't know. I think she wanted to find her own individuality. Just as Tamar just doesn't want to be classy Toni Braxton. She wants to be ratchet. I don't know how that's really working for her. However, she has a social media base. Let me stop because I'm gonna start shading folks. Let me stop. The Tamarsons, they are a particular class. That's all I gotta say. After the concert, they go out to a restaurant and they talk about this whole situation. Tony's thinking, is there going to be a resolution? She's not coming to your wedding. No. Well, she already said she wasn't coming. So, is there any type of resolution? Tawanda's like, no, there's nothing really that can happen. You know, some of us are just tired, and that's just it. Tamar has her own talk with Phil. Is his last name Morris? I don't think it's Morris. But anyways, he's trying to say, is there anything that could reconcile all this? She's talking about the incident. She's still trying to lie and say that Trina is basically, she tried to get her lick in. And that's why she didn't even say, but she basically is admitting that's why she hit her. Ma'am, you're a liar. Do I think that there's some fault from some of the sisters? We don't know what Trina was doing to Tamar. We don't know. However, Tamar does say that, you know, I was really trying to be done with my sisters. But I was pressured into it. We know that Miss E told her to get back on this show, and they're doing this for the sake of Tracy. I just don't even know if they've lived up to that, you know? Like, it's not working out. How I do feel about this show. Is it toxic? Yeah, but it's real. And I know I've explained this before. It's probably the most honest reality show that we have. And I think people just want to run away from it because it's a reflection of what's going on in their families, as much as they don't even want to admit it. And as I will say, as I want to say, as much as I want to say, with black folks, there's a lot of pride there. And there's a lot of things they don't want to admit to in order to not look a certain way. And I think a lot of people want to take it off, one, because it's really hard to look at, knowing because of what they know, what they're going through, and also respectability politics. And that's where I'll leave it there. Oh, we do see a scene where I forgot about that. Trina was at her realty place, office, and all that, and they talked there. Did they talk about Tamar there? I don't even know, but at least we're not seeing on camera that Evelyn is butting in. I can't see that she's not, but almost every one of her child is within the 50-year range. Tamar's 48. Tony's going to be 60 in 2 years. What else can you really say to these jokers at this point? Therapy can definitely help. But what therapist? And I just don't think that no one's really willing to do anything to make it better. If they can't get it together, I say cancel the show. Of course, there's going to be arguments and all that good stuff. I'm okay. At this point, nothing. I mean, I don't think anyone wants to acknowledge their wrongdoing in this whole situation. But I will say this much. You can tell that do y'all remember Tamar's birthday? Whatever. Remember when Tony had to say something online about happy birthday? You got me blocked, da 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 da, or something like that. If y'all remember that earlier this year, and then Tamar came out and she was just saying what she's doing against her and lies and da 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 da. I don't know. So of course, this is a real fight and all that good stuff. Tamar, if you need to let go of your family, let them go. Tawanda, if you need to let go of your family, let them go. Trina and Tony, let them go. It takes more than one person to want to heal, to mend, and be accountable, take responsibility, and want to move forward, and not just move forward and don't have no real substance, and not healed anything. And to be truthful, integral. That's all I got, y'all. It wasn't really that much. So enjoy this little bit. Maybe next week will be better, but I think Tawanda's wedding will be starting pretty soon. But there's not much left because of the divided family. And I still hold the producer responsible for some of it. But Tamar, you're a liar. As far as the dramatics that you were holding up, I made another video because the attorney did speak, the family attorney, and he let us know exactly what was up. How did he get the address and all that good stuff? You can check that out in my playlist for Speak Up, and you'll find out about what exactly this lawyer was talking about. So, anyways, that's all I got. Thank you for coming by. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Until the next one, peace.